artists fans, they seem more nuts. No offence. Because they're quite... Some of them are quite out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just like... I mean, I think you get it. I have a much more simplistic reaction with fans, I think. Like, it's like, you know, it's like screaming. And so it's kind of... And so it limits it. I think you get... Because, like, you know, when we've been doing these premieres and stuff, there's, like, an overwhelming amount of energy. And I think it's because if everyone's just trying to do the same thing, they've only got one thing to say, like, which is just screaming. Then you can just, like, really focus all your energy together, and it's, like, it's really powerful. It's like Excalibur. Or the Captain Planet or something.
Have you ever thought of going up to a screaming girl and freaking her out by going, "Hi, what's your name?"
No, I always wanted to do a sketch for some comedy show where I'd go down, you know, you'd be at a premiere where everybody was screaming, and go back to this sort of dungeon place, and you have all these fans locked up. And you put in this, like, German techno meeting and just scream at them. And then you go off and, like, Zac Efron's at the top of the stairs going in next or something. They didn't let me do it.
And Margot Robbie, you're in town, whooping it up. You got the BAFTAs this weekend, and you the Birds of Prey premiere on Wednesday.
Woo!
And now, comic book heroes and action films, we kind of assume they appeal to kind of nerdy boys, essentially.
Yeah.
And you kind of forget there are lots of nerdy women out there
who
like these films.
Yeah. I think everyone's got their inner nerd.
Yeah,
you know?
well, you are a proper nerd, aren't you?
I mean, when it comes to Harry Potter, I'm a massive, massive nerd.
We know that because you posted this picture. Is this your 12th or... You're about 12 or 13 here. This is Margot Robbie. Look how uncool. Hardback Harry Potter. Ooh,
I know you're a real
so
fan.
fancy.
So fancy. Do you know what's particularly pathetic about this picture? A couple things, really. Number one...
I'll let you point them out.
Number one, it's my birthday. That's how I chose to spend my birthday.
Oh, yay!
So cool.
What was in the cup?
Number two, I'm drinking tea. Number three, I'm wearing glasses even though I don't need glasses. I lied to the optometrist because I wanted to have glasses like Harry Potter.
Now, Daniel, I think you were you a Harry Potter fan or not?
I love Harry Potter, but I just didn't get around to reading the last one.
OK, so...
What?
I had stuff to do, man. I was doing... I don't know what happened. I was just like, oh, I'll do it later, and then...
Are you kidding me? So you've read 1 to 6 and you haven't read the 7th?
Yeah, I don't know
Are
what
you
happened.
actually kidding?
Couldn't bear for it to end.
I'm, like, not going to be able to sleep tonight worrying about this.
Life is a game, you know what I mean? So, I just, like, it's just, you keep it on the edge, you know what I mean?
This is insane to me. Do you know another fun fact? My husband...
This is your thing.
This is fascinating.
This is your thing.
I can go on about this forever.
I'm so sorry I brought this up. I've no one else to blame. No, Margot, tell us.
Sorry, I'll stop hijacking the show after this.
No, go.
Because I'm not here to actually publicise Harry Potter. That's great. My husband is in the Harry Potter movies. I know. I was like, had you told me sooner, we would have been married very quickly. But he was an extra. He was, like, when he was a little kid, he's, like, one of the Slytherin extras. And you know when Draco, like, pushes some kids out of the way to see Buckbeak in the 3rd book?
Yeah.
He pushes my husband out of the way.
Celebrity!
Yeah, I know.
But then it's interesting, one of the scariest things you did, and it's something that I just assumed you had done before, was stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy.
Yeah, what seems you've done that
I had never
before?
done. That was the first time that I ever did stand-up. And, you know, I just watched your last Netflix special.
Thank you, man.
And that
Which is so good.
Thank you,
It's
man.
great.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, it is, to me, stand-up is the hardest thing to do in entertainment. It's different than music. When you have a beat and you have rhythm and you go, and it's like, and you got backup dancers and you got DJ Jazzy Jeff, you know? It's like, when you have all of that, it's like you're surrounded and protected. You know, even with a hit record, when you have a hit record, you know the audience is gonna respond.
Yeah,
you know it's gonna go well. Stand-up, that stuff out there, just you and a microphone.
And did you get the bug? Did you kind of think, I'm going to do this again? Or did you think...
No, I went out there and I really enjoyed it. But when I was preparing for the stand-up, I was thinking to myself, I would much rather bungee jump out of a helicopter again than do stand-up. It's terrifying to me.
But I can see you doing it, though. I can actually see you doing it and having success doing it. Because the beauty of it is talking. You got stories, you got an amazing point of view. So I think once you grasp that side of it, I'm just sharing my point of view. People are going to understand and gravitate towards the pictures that I'm painting because they're true, they're believable, it's authentic. You had that, so I can see
you did tell true stories. Like the story about your dad is true.
My dad, yeah.
So the one where he phones you.
Oh yeah, it was Independence Day, and the movie had just come out. It was my first big hit movie. So it's like it was like 3 a.m. in L.A. and he was on the East Coast and he had just seen the number. So the phone rings and that 3 a.m. call. So I grab it and I'm like, hello, and he's like, hey, you see them numbers? And I was like, Dad, it's 3 o'clock. I didn't see. Hey, you remember when I told you there ain't no such thing as luck? Just what you make. Remember I told you that? Okay, Dad, yeah, I remember that. Remember when I told you ain't no such thing as luck? Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Remember I told you that? I said, yeah, Dad, I remember. He said, man, that's bullshit. You the luckiest joke I ever met in my life.
Cara Delevingne, you are a professional model.
I love it that you say my whole name all the time.
Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne.
I don't know what you mean.
Cara feels like I've stopped too soon.
It is a short name, yeah.
Cara. Cara is something. Is it the in-flight magazine of Aer Lingus?
Okay.
I think it is, isn't it?
Cara in Gaelic means friend, so that could be a thing.
Yeah, no, I think it is. That's probably why I'm not saying Cara. Yeah.
No, I like it. It rolls off the tongue.
Cara Delevingne. So, Cara Delevingne, even she on a red carpet, you can get distracted. We've got a picture of you with your co-star.
There's generally quite distracting things on the red carpet.
Yes, well, this is you with Rihanna. You look...
Guys, who wouldn't? Sorry.
I like that that is so not... It's not even subtle. It's just like, hello.
I mean, I remember, because I've known her for a very long time, and I just remember seeing, because every time, I mean, especially in that show, she obviously has magnificent lungs.
Yes.
And face, obviously, no, but she, I just went up to her and was like, you look amazing. Then every time she was like, you've got to be on boob watch. And so I just, because, it's definitely something you have to be careful of. But I was being a good friend, guys.
It doesn't look like it, but it was cold.
No, you do look very relaxed. But apparently were you wearing a thermally thing?
Yeah, because I was out there for a while, so they have like a very thin wetsuit that you put on so you don't freeze to death.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually went out. They had a nice crane shot. They went out there in front of me, and I was walking out. But if you have a wetsuit on, the air gets kind of trapped in there, and you're just walking out, and the bubbles start coming up. And right when it gets to the level where it's at, all these bubbles come out. like you fart, And the camera's right there, and I'm like. I start giggling because of the bubbles, because they can feel them go up too. And then I open it up to let the air out, and then all the cold went in. So my reaction was all like, So there's many emotions went through me in that moment.
And not to dwell on this picture too much, but some of these tattoos are real. So
well, yeah, it was Zach had the idea. He wanted to put my tattoo as my family crest, and he wanted to put it everywhere.
Okay. So these are just what are they?
Yeah, well, they're like stickers. It takes quite a bit. I mean, it's about an hour and a half makeup in the morning just to put them all on. But there's like 20 odd pieces that they have to put on, and it takes a long time to get them off.
It was the same in Sense and Sensibility.
And so, in all those action sequences, are you one of those guys? Do you do all your own stunts, or?
I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to do a good amount of stunts because stunts are fun and they're cool. But more so, it's not really a ego thing. It's more so the audience knows I would rather tie myself into all the action, so they're able to see. Yes.
But no, I'm just thinking. In a stunt scene, the stuntman is having a fight with you. If you hit him, you could kill him. The stuntman was just like, this isn't fair.
And if I miss, then the wind behind the punch will give him pneumonia. You'll die. He'll die
good. Fight and talk. Fight and talk.
It's a good line, right?
Yeah.
Like in a bar. There was one when I first started. For example, I did The Scorpion King, and it was my very first movie, and I had this big action sequence, and I wound up hitting a stuntman and kind of clocking him super hard. He was a little older. He went down, and I felt so bad.
Not as bad as he did.
Thank God. But when you catch somebody, you know, like with a point, it doesn't feel good. So I bought him a Rolex watch, and he was... but that's how bad I felt. I felt super bad because, I mean, these guys are the backbone of our business. So I did buy him a Rolex watch.
But once that story gets out, did then stunt people just start throwing themselves at your face?
You're right, by the way. That's exactly what happened. So this story starts getting out, and there's a couple, you know, you'll get in these action sequences, and maybe guys will lean to get hit.
Because you
But, I mean, if we got into a fight, would that be worth it to you?
No.
No. One punch for
No, I can tell the time right now. That's fine. So, if you can't do it, how do they get... Because you are so physically kind of unique looking. How do they get stunt people...
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. She's going, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Mom.
Now she's crying. How do they get, like, a stunt guy to look like you?
I've got a great stunt double who's actually my cousin, and we look like twins.
You do look like twins. Like, that's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he kind of think, why don't I be a movie star then?
By the way, I got the smile there. That's the smile like, yeah, I'm the star of the movie. And then here's the smile like, yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked there.
The voice. Christian Bale, now, he did it himself.
Yes, he did.
But this time it's a different version.
Well, like I said, Christian's a great actor. For me, I required electronic manipulation of the voice to do it. We kind of thought, we posited that he was a famous billionaire, and so that people would recognize his real voice, and it would give away his identity, so that within the cowl is an electronic device that changes Batman's voice for him, so that he's not recognized, so that it digitally manipulates the voice. So I performed the voice, and then Zach was able to change it with a computer later on. So I just played the part, and then, you know, when I watched the movie, the voice is different. It's electronic.
Because we've got a mic, and I think this is set up...
Is this set up?
Oh, it is. Oh. Isn't it amazing they do that? Isn't it amazing? Do you do the thing when you know that it's going to do it, but you still do it too? you do it on top of the thing?
You do it.
Can you give us some like, lines?
Sure.
I'd like a large pizza. Pepperoni. 2 Pepsis.
Oh, you try a bit, Amy Adams. Let's hear it with a girl's voice.
I actually want to sound like Batman. Do you bleed?
Deep. I'm glad you didn't make that before. You would have taken my job. That was really good. Have a go, Henry. Why not? What would Superman say?
I'm Batman. And I'm secretly in love with Superman.
Okay, let's stop. Now, there's been a lot made, I think more than normal this time round, a lot's been made about Superman's disguise as Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And how really light it is. It's a very light disguise.
Seemingly so.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, I've got the glasses, so if you just pop them on so we can see the difference that the glasses make, just pass them down. Here we go.
Prepare to be amazed.
Where's Henry gone? That's really creepy, crazy. Is it like...
It's even creepy when you say it in that voice.
Because it is one of those things, it's amazing that they haven't come up with some sort of backstory or, like, you kind of think in 2016 they wouldn't just put you in some glasses and say, and no one will know who you are. But actually, didn't you do an experiment?
I did indeed. Yeah, to be a counterpoint to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
To just prove you wrong, in fact. A friend of mine and I were discussing the idea of these glasses not being good enough disguise. And we decided to go to Times Square to test the theory. I wore a Superman T-shirt and no glasses and stood underneath the giant wraparound Batman v Superman posters in Times Square.
I think we've got a picture. Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Yeah.
And took a bunch of other photos and some video as well, and got stopped twice. Once by someone exiting the subway asking for directions to Central Station. And the other time was in a coffee shop where someone said, "Could you please stop taking photos?" And that was it.
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's apparently very easy to do.
Can I say, you just look really,
that, I have
you
an
look really
incredibly
comfortable.
boring
You look
face.
really comfortable in those glasses.
And smart.
Yeah, oh, for once.